Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I hope you all are well and fine. I welcome you back to the class. It's really a pleasure to interact with you again. So here we are. We have completed two of the chapters so far, including understanding living things, and chapter number 2 was how animals live. Now we are going to start a new chapter. So let's begin our new chapter. So here we are about to start our new chapter, and the new chapter is, okay, tell me what comes first in your mind when you look at this picture. What process is going on here? This is the movement, and this is what the name of our chapter is, how we move. It is our chapter number 3 and it is on page number 20. Here the name of the chapter is how we move. It means in this chapter, we are going to learn about the movement of human beings. In the previous chapter, how animals live, we have understood that the kind of movements in animals. But here, we are only concerned with human beings. As I have chosen this picture for you, where you can see this is the skeleton of human being. So let's begin our chapter. As the name of our chapter is how we move, so what kind of things we are going to learn in this chapter? So here are two major components of your chapter. Number one, skeletal system. Another is muscular system. Your half of the chapter is covered with the information of a skeletal system of human beings, and rest half is covered with muscular system of human being. Now you can consider this picture, or you can look at here that half of the man is showing in this picture, half of the body of this man is showing the muscles and half of the body is showing the skeleton or the bones. So these are two important things which we are going to learn in this chapter. So the major components of this chapter are skeletal system and muscular system. Now in today's class we would learn about skeletal system, and in the next class we would learn about muscular system. So let's start the skeletal system. So the name of our chapter is how we move. It means how human beings move. So the movement in human beings are done by two of the processes. One is a skeletal system, another is muscular system. Okay, so remember one thing, if these two things are working together, they can cause the movement. If anything is missing from them, so movement cannot be occurred. So I'm gonna repeat the previous picture here, so you can observe here that in this picture you can observe the skeleton plus muscles. Now these muscles and bones, it means skeleton, they both are working together to make the movement possible. Now we are going to learn them one by one. So first of all, we are going to learn what the skeletal system is. So here you can see the skeleton of a man. What is the skeletal system and why it is needed by the body? So what is this? The framework of our body. What is the skeleton or skeletal system? This is the framework of our body. Do you know why do we provide frame to a picture to hang that picture on the wall? For the support, for the proper shape. If we just hang a picture without frame, so the shape of the picture would be disturbed. Okay, so we provide support to that picture by providing them with frame. Likewise, if we talk about the muscles of our body, so they are soft. So we need something hard to make the proper shape. So what is the skeletal system? It is the framework of our body. Okay, what they are made up of? Skeletal system is made up of bones. So what are the things by which the skeletal system is made of? They are bones. Skeletal system is made up of bones. If we talk about, it is something interesting that if we talk about an adult has 206 bones, but a child has more than 350 bones. What is this going on? It's strange. So the thing is that when a newborn baby just got birth, or a baby gets birth, so it has more than 350 bones, and these bones are soft as the child gets birth. But with the passage of time, few of the bones or number of the bones fused with one another, and they hardened by the time, and the number reduces to 206. So if we talk about adult, so adult has 206 bones, and if we talk about a child or newborn baby, that has more than 350 bones. But as the child grows, the number of bones reduced. How it is reduced? Because few of the bones get fused with each other. Okay, and they hardened with the time, and the number becomes 206. Now here, why it is used or why it is useful for us? Skeleton gives shape and support to our body. Okay, as you can see, this is our overall shape which is provided by the skeleton, and plus it is working for the support as well. Apart from this, another important function of a skeleton is it protects the soft inner organs of our body, like heart and lungs. Our heart and lungs are in our chest cavity. So here you can see there is a cage-like structure. So it protects our heart and lungs. Apart from this, skull protects our brain. So we are going to discuss them one by one in detail. Do you know one interesting thing? That if we see the bones, they look hard from outside. But are they hard from inside? No. So, bones are hard from outside, but they are soft and spongy from inside. It means if we cut out a bone, so we will see a soft inner, you can say a soft inner spongy substance inside that. You must have eaten beef or mutton, and you have seen that in the bones there is a soft substance, and that is called as bone marrow. Okay, so if we see the close view of it, so this is a bone, and inside the bone there is a soft and spongy material, and that is called as bone marrow. Okay, it is very nutritious and we should eat it. So here are the main parts of our skeletal system, that includes the skull, the spine, the ribs, the limbs, and the joints. Joints are not the bones basically, but skeletal system or skeleton cannot be completed without joints. So what kind of function it is performing and why it is included in skeletal system or skeleton, we would learn. So now we are going to learn these 5 things in detail one by one. So the first main part of the skeleton is the skull. Here are some of the points. As you can see that it's a bony structure. It means it is made up of bones. So you can see how hard it looks. Point number 2 is it protects this and surrounds the brain. It gives protection and surrounding to the brain. How? You can see here that this is the lighter portion is basically showing your skull, and there is brain inside. So our brain is surrounded and protected by the skull. There are holes in the skull for nostrils, eyes, mouth, and ear. As you can observe here that there are holes for eyes, holes for nose, ear, mouth. Okay. Upper portion of the skull has 8 flat bones, and face and jaw contain 13 bones. I want to show you something here, that this is our skull and it looks like a jigsaw puzzle. Actually, the upper part of our skull is made up of flat bones, and these are 8. Okay, but if we talk about facial bones, so they are 13. Okay, so these are the flat 8 bones, and our face and jaw has 13 bones. Our teeth are fixed to the jaw bones. As you can see here and here, our teeth are joined or attached with our jaws. Do you know one thing? Only our lower jaw is movable. We cannot move any of the bone from our skull. We can only move our lower jaw bone. Here comes the second main part of our skeleton, and that is the spine, which we call as backbone as well. And this is how it looks like. And here are some of the points for spine. Number 1 is it is attached to the skull. As you can see that this is the spine, this is our backbone, and it is directly attached to the skull. Number 2 is it is the central supporting rod for skeleton. It is the central supporting rod for skeleton. As you can see, it is the position of spine is in the center of our body, so it is performing the function as central supporting rod for skeleton. It is made up of 33 small bones. You can see it is not a one bone. These are the small bones which are connected or attached with each other. Okay, so it is made up of 33 small bones. These small bones are called vertebrae. Okay, these are called vertebrae. So we can say that we have, or human being has, 33 vertebrae in their body. It protects the delicate spinal cord. Okay, you know that there is a delicate spinal cord. What is it? We will learn in the next chapter in detail, but our spine or backbone protects that. Vertebrae can move over each other. That is why they are small. So they can move over each other, they can slide over each other. And why vertebrae can move over each other and slide over each other? Because it allows you to bend or twist. We can bend our body, we can twist our back, okay, only because of the small bones, because of the vertebrae. So we are getting this kind of movement because there are smaller bones in the vertebrae. Okay, it is not a single bone. If it is a single bone, so is it possible for us to bend or twist? Not at all. So let's start the third main part of human skeleton, and that is the ribs. So this is how they look like. As you can observe here, that how the skeleton or the ribs are protecting the soft inner organs like lungs and heart. So the points are here. So let's discuss them one by one. Number 1 is they are narrow curved bones. They are narrow curved bones. It means they are not straight here. You can see that they are curved. Okay, so they are the narrow and curved bones. They protect the heart and lungs because the position is in the chest cavity or the thoracic cavity. So the organs which are in the chest cavity, they are protected by our ribs. There are 12 pairs of bones. 12 pairs of bones. Here you can count them as well. Okay, there are 12 pairs of bones. It means what is the total number? If we multiply it by 2, so we would get 24. So the total number of bones in the ribs is 24. So we have 24 bones in our ribs, or 12 pairs of bones. They are joined by the breastbone in the front. As you can see, this is the breastbone. Okay, it is called as sternum as well. So you can see that all the ribs are just attached here. Okay, so they are joined to the breastbone in front, and the backbone at the back. You know that there is a backbone in the back, as we have learned on previous slide. So these are curved bones which are attached to the breastbone from front, but they are attached to the backbones from back side. Okay, so the backbone at the back. So this is how they are attached with the sternum or breastbone and the backbone. Last two pairs are joined to the backbone only. They are called floating ribs. They are called floating ribs. What are these? Here you can observe. Here I have highlighted only two pairs of the bones of ribs. You can see that they are arising from backbone, but they are not attached to the breastbone from front. In this picture you can also observe, but it is quite clear here. Okay, so these two pairs are called floating ribs. And what is the reason? Because they are only attached to the backbone. They are not attached to the breastbone. So that is why they are called as floating ribs. Now it's time to learn the next part of the skeleton, and that is the limbs. Here you can see that I have repeated the same picture here, so you can observe the whole skeleton of human being. It's a skull, ribs, spine at the back, okay, and these are limbs. What are the limbs? Nearly half of our body are inner limbs. It means half of our bones of our body are in our hands, wrist, feet and ankles. Okay, here you can see our fingers. So many bones are there in our fingers. Okay, arms are attached to the spine by collarbone or the shoulder girdle. Now this is our shoulder bone or this collarbone. Our arms are attached to the collarbone or the shoulder girdle. Legs are attached to the hip girdle likewise. Here you can see these bones are called hip girdle, and our lower limbs or legs are attached to the hip girdle. Here you can observe our forelimb or our hands, and here you can observe our hind limbs or feet or legs. One important thing here is femur. Femur, it means thigh bone. It is the biggest bone of our body, and this is the femur bone. Okay, this is the thigh bone and it is the biggest bone of the body. So here we have completed the four main parts of our skeleton, including skull, ribs, spine and limbs. Now the fifth one, that is joint, that would be taught in the next class before muscular system. So thank you so much. What you are directed to do, you have to read your chapter and you have to underline your important lines from the book. So thank you so much. Take care.